Here's my first impressions on Fidelity's crypto account, real on-chain crypto account. And let me tee it up with a little bit of context though. My name is Brian. I primarily talk to 35 to 55-year-olds in the United States with W-2 jobs about how they can incorporate Bitcoin into their personal finances. Now, look, you can be 25, you can be over 55, you could be a business owner instead of a W-2 job. Like that part's not the exact important part. It's just I try to be that niche because Bitcoin content has proliferated, which is good. There's so much all over the place. But what's funny is that this like large demographic of just like regular Americans in the thick of their like personal finances, raising kids, buying homes, moving state, like there's not a lot of specific Bitcoin personal finance advice directly for those people. And I've been so I've been buying Bitcoin since 2015. I gave my Coinbase referral link to my wife on our third date in 2015, and so we've been on a journey together. I'm a big proponent of combining your finances with your spouse. Like just as an aside to Bitcoin, I don't know how you can do personal finance as well without doing that. And so my wife and I, Sharon, have done Bitcoin together the entire time. And the longer that I'm in Bitcoin, I've realized that that's kind of a unique thing. And so I enjoy talking about it because I'm genuinely philosophically motivated to watch Bitcoin replace fiat money. And in order for that to happen, we have to rewrite the way that personal finance advice is like digested and given out in the United States because you still have just very powerful and large influential personal financial advice that it just completely disregards Bitcoin. And then when you have kind of crypto news and crypto media, it kind of just Bitcoin continues to get lumped in with kind of all crypto and kind of lumped in with this day trading mentality of like I'll bring it up just at like fantasy football party over the weekend of someone who is a Bitcoin and Ethereum investor, okay? And I'll be like, oh yeah, like my wife and I are like in Bitcoin. He's like, oh, like what do you mean you day trade it? And I'm like, which I guess is fine because being in Bitcoin, it is kind of weird for that to be a job. Like that is kind of weird, which again is why I have such a passion for people that are just like quote unquote regular people because Bitcoin is so good for the individual and so good for society as a whole, but we need to make it easier to incorporate it into your personal finances. So all that being said, that's where I'm coming at this whole thing from. And there's lots of different ways to kind of save Bitcoin and store Bitcoin and buy and sell Bitcoin. But this concept of a Bitcoin checking account is something that I've been like climbing over and been really passionate about for several years now. And so today I'm giving you my first impressions on using Fidelity's crypto account. And it's so awesome that a place like Fidelity has been relatively like early to Bitcoin and they were involved in Bitcoin mining for a long time. They have they have my favorite Bitcoin ETF is the Fidelity ETF. We're already like Fidelity users. So like our Roth IRA and our health savings account are already in the Fidelity Bitcoin ETF at Fidelity, but it's great that they are like as big as they are, big as a household name brand as they are, and they're embracing like actual on-chain, like actual physical Bitcoin accounts. And so I opened one of these up and immediately off the bat, the number one thing you should know is that they made opening a joint account so easy, so easy. So that's the number one like first check mark for Fidelity is that you can open up a Bitcoin custody account, a Bitcoin buy and sell account jointly with your spouse. And for whatever reason, that is super difficult for the other Bitcoin exchanges out there to do. And so major check mark for Fidelity that opening up a crypto joint account is just the same as any other account opening process. So now that we got the account opened, the next thing that is just like really, I mean, it works and there's nothing flashy about this, but just the buy and sell both works. Like you can transfer money. You can instant deposit USD from another Fidelity account. It lands and then you're able to buy Bitcoin. Perfect. Immediately like settles. And then the sell also immediately settles. So the sell Bitcoin, you can sell Bitcoin and be back to your Fidelity like cash management account, which effectively is Fidelity's version of a checking account instantly. So like same day settlement. And so I'm a really big proponent of the more that you can lower the friction between Bitcoin and dollars, like mentally, the more that you can lower the friction between them. Bitcoin is just a currency. Bitcoin is a better currency than fiat money. Bitcoin is a better currency than the fiat money. But rather than kind of just like beating you to death on like the why of that, the number one thing you can do is just lower the friction between Bitcoin in dollars. Now there is the concept of like you have to pay capital gains tax when you flip from Bitcoin back to dollars. But again, like let that just be a minor speed bump. This is a really big like mindset thing in terms of like upgrading your Bitcoin personal finances. Allow that to just be a speed bump. That's just a detail. Don't allow that to be like a brick wall blocker. That's just a detail. Like you holding your stored labor in Bitcoin and it appreciating in purchasing power to where you have to pay a tax to flip it back to dollars is a good thing. Like that means you won. You did it. You're being like you were compensated for making a good decision and not holding United States dollars. Like, so yes, is it frustrating that you have to pay a toll in order to go back to dollars? Absolutely, that's frustrating. Will it be awesome when we're in a world where bill pay works seamlessly in Bitcoin? Absolutely, that'll be a cool world. But as someone who's I've worked like internally at multiple Bitcoin startups. I've climbed over this from the user side so many times. I've switched our checking account like 4 and 5 times in the last few years because I'm trying to find the most seamless way to lower the friction between dollars and Bitcoin. You have to allow the capital gains tax stuff to just be a speed bump in your mind, okay? Because here's what matters. What matters is people that care about this using the Fidelity product, like actually opening it and actually trying and actually running volume through it is what's going to get to a world where Bitcoin is used as money instead of fiat. Climbing over it with the customer service people, like really showing volume there is what's going to improve these products. And that's the other thing. So that's the next thing for Fidelity. Their customer service is good. Like it's just the phone is there, they pick up and the reps are nice and polite and find you the right answers. And I've even experienced that with the crypto accounts. And so some of the reps are new to dealing with the crypto accounts, but I honestly like I see that as part of the like they were still good. Like you know when you get a bad customer service rep that's kind of just like trying to work through the talking book and write that, and like they didn't do that. They didn't do that. They just like paused, went and got the answer, came back. And then also the Fidelity website just like works really well. Like it works really well and you can always call them. And so that's a check mark for them. So joint accounts, the buy and sell works, instant settlement back to the checking account, customer service, and then the deposit and withdraw. So here's the thing, you can deposit Bitcoin. Like, and this is where big check mark to Fidelity for like really embracing again on-chain Bitcoin and allowing you to bring in Bitcoin. So I deposited Bitcoin both from a personal wallet and from another exchange, and both worked, both went through. The little bit of the thing on the withdraw, this is going to be different for people that have used other exchanges, and could be potentially a little bit frustrating. So you do have to whitelist your address, and then it takes 2 to 3 days for that address to like become active. Okay. And then you have the choice to either you can sign up for a $2,000 a day withdrawal, or you can sign up for a $25,000 day withdrawal. So you can choose your security level on that. And then you do have to wait for your address to be activated before you can withdraw. But I find that it's just helpful to know that information. Just know that information, know what you're getting into. Is the one thing on that. But yeah, so just from today's, this isn't like a full review of like where I've used the account for multiple months at a time or whatever. It's just a first impressions. And from the first impressions, a large financial institution like Fidelity stepping into having like physical Bitcoin accounts, they passed like in every way possible. I think it's really awesome to see what they're doing. And I'm excited to see like more and more people use this product and run some more traffic through it so that they can see that it's a really valuable thing that they've created. And kind of just wrapping up right on that point, that I think it's gonna be really powerful for couples that are already doing their personal finances together at Fidelity to be able to see the Bitcoin account in line with all their other assets. So if someone using like the Fidelity cash management account as a checking account, as their normal like bill pay and like family running account, and then a regular brokerage account, and then having a crypto account, and then having your IRAs and your HSAs all in one place, seeing your Bitcoin in line with your other assets, it really accelerates your view of Bitcoin as money and as like a foundation of your family's like financial plan. And so I can see this having like a really good effect on certain people that are already in the Fidelity ecosystem and really want that consolidated view of, how much Bitcoin savings their family has.